All right, now let's talk
How you
about
can
why
have a
Kyle
beard
Shanahan
though?
might quit coaching soon. So Mike Macdonald has Kyle Shanahan's number big time right now. And there was a video that Ted Wynn from The Athletic put out. I'm not going to put it on here because of copyright stuff, and he has, all 22. I don't know how that works, but I'll just summarize it real quick. One of the things that Kyle does, he's known for, is motion. They motion all the time. And motion does a lot of things for Kyle, but one of the things it does is give the quarterback an indicator of what the coverage is going to be, man or zone, what kind of coverage it is. It gives them some pre-snap indicators. Well, the Seahawks are very sophisticated. Mike Macdonald's been building a defense to beat this type of offense, and a lot of what they showed against the Patriots is, when the offense motions and the defense follows them, what does that mean most of the time? Man coverage.
Yeah, man.
But the Seahawks will frequently have a guy follow and then play zone, and vice versa. They'll have no one follow and then play man. So they're not giving clear-cut pre-snap indicators, and that's why Drake May was dropping back and holding the ball like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. So it seems to me that what Kyle Shanahan does, real quick, 20 seconds, his whole shtick is, one, playing base personnel on offense, so you have to be in base defense, having a good running game, so you have to be in single high with an 8-man front, and then motioning you to figure out what you're doing, and then play actioning you to death. That's his shtick. Against Macdonald, Macdonald can stop his run with nickel from a too-high shell, and he's not showing you what his defense is. He disguises the hell out of his defense, and the motion ultimately does nothing. That's why Shanahan's system doesn't work against Macdonald. And one of the things he needs to do is go up tempo. The faster you go, the less they can disguise. There's evolution he can do, but this is the slowest offense in the league, not just in terms of personnel, but in terms of all of that stuff too. So he could do it, but it would be some serious evolution. Do you think he'll do it?
Yes. I do think he's going to have to adapt. I mean, it's survival of the fittest. If he wants to be that elite coach that everyone thinks he is, and he knows about his record from coaching behind in games. He's been a coach that's kind of been seen, and it's factual, as probably the best coach in the league when he's ahead. Well, until the fourth quarter, but the best in terms of game script type of coaching, and probably the worst when the script doesn't go your way. Right, like once Rashid Shaheed returned it for a touchdown, he couldn't run the plays he wanted to play. He wanted to run the 4th and 1. He gets out of his way. I think he knows now, with what Macdonald is doing, that he's going to have to switch it, because look, he's not an idiot. He's watched how the Rams have dissected the Seahawks defense twice. Now again, Brock Purdy is not nearly the quarterback as Matt Stafford, and they don't have a run game. Even though McCaffrey's better than Kyron, I mean, McCaffrey is not a through the tackles runner, and their line is worse than the Rams at this point. So again, but what did the Rams do this year that really made the defense think twice? They ran 12 personnel, right? They ran 3 tight ends out there. They confused the Seahawks, and that allowed them to be like, what do? We can't go into zone with these 3 tight ends. We're going to have to play man out of that. And a lot of the time,
and they couldn't really defend the run.
They couldn't do it, and they couldn't do it because the seam was either open with the tight end, or Puka would find a hole in the defense midway, right? If they tried to play zone. So again,
also they get yak against Seattle. The Niners have no yak on their team anymore.
They have no yak because Debo's done, and that's why I think the initial thing is Debo at least can get yards, and yes, he can, but you're also a slow offense.
We need to get faster.
The Rams have some fast players, it's not just Puka. It's they got that guy Mumfield who they can put out there. They got other guys, Whittington, who has some speed. Even Devontae has some speed. They'll probably draft a receiver that has speed as well. The Niners, they need to adapt their offense into, especially with the Luke Farrell signing, play 12 personnel, get used to off the field.
We do have wide receivers that have speed, like Jordan Watkins. He didn't.
Thank you. And Jacob Cowing. I'm sorry. You drafted Jacob Cowing in the 4th round. You drafted Jordan Watkins in the 4th round. You don't get to just throw them away. Those are significant draft picks. And when they've gotten opportunities, they've looked explosive and solid. You need to play them. Stop signing Robbie Chosen and Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
And Sky Moore.
Play them.
They don't even throw Sky Moore the ball.
He's quick. Re-sign Sky and give him the freaking ball on offense. There's ways to do it, because you're not going to get the ball down the field against Seattle. You don't have the offensive line for it. You don't have the receivers for it. You don't have the quarterback for it. What you can do is screen them to death, yak them to death. If you have playmakers, and it's not Debo, and it's not Christian McCaffrey, and it's not George Kittle.
And
You know what's funny, too?
Not Ricky.
Yeah. Go, Brandon.
Before you go, I just want to add one more thing on this. I wanted to add that, like, I think Kyle has an issue, like, where he picks and chooses these guys, right? Like, there's no, even if their play isn't great, like Jawan's not fast. He dropped some passes as the season went on, but he's a culture guy. He's a good blocker. Let's reward him with catches. Let's reward Kittle with catches. Let's reward Juszczyk because he's been on this team. I don't think it's a performance-based team. Whereas the Rams, if they saw, like, they gave Puka a chance, if they saw Whittington go crazy, they give Whittington more touches. They didn't play Terrence Ferguson because Colby Parkinson was playing out of his mind. They are a performance-based team. I think that's Kyle's fault, is he gets too addicted to certain players and he just doesn't give other players a chance. That's what I'm saying. That
one more thing before we move on. I think what's so ironic about this whole discussion is, like, yes, the Seahawks defense is sophisticated and it's tough to go against, but the reason it kicks the Niners' ass is because their front four whoops the shit. Excuse me, pardon my French. I'll stop. It's their front four dominates the Niners' offensive line. That's checkmate right there. So all the other stuff, the disguises, that's great. But if you can't even block their front four, you have no chance. They can't run the ball against Seattle. Purdy can't get past his first read against Seattle. They can't get it down the field against Seattle. So
it's not even Purdy's fault.
You gotta get a good left guard. I would say you got to get a better center. And I'm not even sure about Pooney. He has a lot to prove. Those three positions need to be upgraded. You need to bring in competition at center and at right guard and a good starting left guard. Otherwise, you're screwed against Seattle.
Yeah.
It's funny, too. You mentioned offensive line. Grant, did you see Jordan Watkins' Instagram story that he posted yesterday?
Yes.
Like, dude, I was...
Tell him.
I didn't see.
Because, Brandon, he posted, so the 49ers posted, like, a bunch, like, they posted all the wide receivers, and then the caption said, route runners, and then Jordan Watkins reposted it and said, I barely ran routes, but I'll take it. Like,
hilarious.
You don't even.
I like Jordan Watkins, bro. He ran a 4.3, like 6 or 7 or something like that.
Like, we're acting like
I like Jordan Watkins too.
I like him, and they never play him.
We are a slow team. Don't get me wrong, but we have some fast players. Why not just use Jordan Watkins? Why not use him?
Or Cowan.
Come on, Kyle.
Cowan seems like a good kid. He seems like a good kid, and he seems like I think there's a lot of players
for people when he was injured.
And that's just disrespectful. I think there's a lot of 49ers players, like, when they leave, if they're a receiver, they're like, oh, thank goodness, because they have more freedom, I feel like, to run their routes.
I want to see screens to Watkins, Cowing, and more. That should be a big part of your offense.
Like,
are you kidding me?
Didn't we throw a screen? Like, wasn't there a screenplay to DeMarcus Robinson?
Might have been. I don't want to see that ever again. DeMarcus Robinson. What did he do for you? He's just an old guy who did nothing for you.